Hello and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller. Today, we have Intern Tones, and we're going to go over some MLS stuff.
Some soccer talk, baby.
We've had some issues going live on X. So, I guess
It
X
shows we're
is having a
live.
bad problem. That's not an us thing, apparently. That's like an everybody thing. But yeah, Tones, how you been, man?
Good. I have us pulled up on X, so I don't know if it's what it is, but I'm watching this live.
We can never find our videos after.
It must just go back, go into the ether.
Yeah.
Like you got to catch lightning in a bottle. Got to catch us when you can catch us.
So, MLS opening weekend was last weekend. It was pretty electric, I'll be honest with you. I had my family watching. My daughter plays soccer but hates watching it on TV. I don't know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Caught a couple games. Tones, we had boots on the ground for a game.
We did. And we could have boots on the ground tonight, but it was very cold on... what was that on Sunday?
Yeah. Saturday.
No, Saturday. Yeah. Very cold Saturday. I thought, I got a FC Cincinnati bomber jacket. I'm like, man, I look so cool. Not as warm as you'd think. My legs were cold. I wasn't prepared. So, but it was a good game. It was a really good game. I feel like, FC Cincinnati in particular, there was a lot of moments that, we could showcase to our viewers. Just from top to bottom, TQL puts on a good production, and gets the fans hyped even in, 30-degree weather. So it was a sellout crowd. Nice 2-0 win over Atlanta. Can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like the refs were a little biased, but I mean, we're on one side of the whole thing. If we were to pull an Atlanta fan on here, they would probably be like, "You guys are wrong. They're favoring you." So,
I've noticed this over the years. Like big markets, Atlanta. I don't know if they'd be really considered a big market, but they were kind of a mainstay in the league for a while. And, the refs always seem to favor. I don't know if it's our style of play. I don't know what it is. It could be bias. When you're in a group, a melting pot of people who are all booing at the ref, you're going to feel like the ref is wrong.
But I mean, it is a hostile environment. But one thing that I have noticed is MLS does kind of configure the way they do things kind of the same as, I don't know, FIFA. And we all know there's a little bit of favoritism there with FIFA. Bigger markets usually end up getting kind of the pull, if you will, just because they have more people to watch. And if 40, or let's just say 22% in Cincinnati watch and 22% watch in Atlanta, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people probably on that.
Oh, yeah.
Tens of thousands of people. So more money for them. So, I mean, I get it. Money makes the world go round, but at the same time, you kind of want, I don't know, from my point of view, small markets are like winning is a good thing for the sport. So,
oh, for sure. Yeah. It beats the stereotype that you can pay to win. And, Miami, they're a great example. They really kind of brought it up a notch in terms of, the favoritism and, that Messi contract. I still haven't figured out how they made that possible to keep him within the bounds of the cap space. And I think what it was is, Apple is actually paying for the majority of his salary, and he gets a portion of every new Apple TV. But then at that point, you're like, okay, so the club's not paying, but he's still getting paid, and he's still, that's his market share, so, or his, his market value. So, I don't know, but, Sonny went to LAFC. He was another big one. It just seems that the big talents either end up in LA either with the Galaxy or LAFC. Sometimes New York. They're not very...
Not so much anymore. Maybe like 10 years ago or so.
Yeah. New York has a new coach, and it'll be interesting to see. He was a longtime U.S. men's national player, and he seems young and fiery. So we'll see how they do.
So when we're talking all of American soccer, do you think UCL would try to absorb some of these MLS teams and kind of try to put MLS out of business? Because they have a better structure and a kind of a better way to do things?
I think something will have to happen because they're taking up the same space.
Like a Live versus PGA.
Right.
Just not Saudi funded.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the way that the USL, that top tier, that's really the same talent that the MLS will have. So to me, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of overlap. If somehow they could come to an agreement to blend all of them, that would just be such a big win for everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like what UCL is trying to do is be more pure, like, football. Like, at the end of the day, the rest of the world calls it football. We just call it soccer. So, they seem to want, like, that pure football spirit that you find in Europe here in America, whereas MLS got the attention going, at least, but I think it's kind of served its purpose, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's grown the sport. I mean, and just think about how far it's come. I think it was started in the 90s, and kids grew up playing soccer, but no one really watched it or talked about it. And now, at least, there's teams popping up everywhere. People are seeing the environment, seeing the excitement. I mean, I don't remember if we brought this up, but the Super Bowl, right? There's 160 million viewers in America for the Super Bowl. Liverpool was playing Man City in a regular season match, and there was 700 million viewers. So 700 million people can't be wrong. There's definitely something to see, and I think the more that we, with the World Cup, I say that every time, but like that could be the next big breakthrough, I think.
Well, when you look at some of the other sports kind of around them, hockey big right now just because the Olympics and stuff, but I mean typically you're either a hockey fan or you're not. Like it's not I kind of like hockey. It's more of like I'll go get drunk with you and watch people skate around the ice to the point where I can't see the little black puck going back and forth. Like that's the mentality of a hockey person. But when it comes to Major League Baseball, they keep changing rules. All the traditionalists hate baseball now. And it's kind of falling in popularity. NBA, it seems like people want to get into it, but then like they get in their own way. Like,
yeah, the NBA, it's almost a wonder that they're going to still be around. Like I know people who are into it like it, but I don't know.
I want to like the NBA, but then it just seems like before COVID, especially, it was the same teams every time. After COVID, you had a couple of smaller markets pop in there a little bit, and then like it is kind of changing a little bit for the better. But I mean, like, I was watching Jordan highlights the other day, and it's like people just stood in the lane and didn't let you go past. Like they were like, you can murder my family, but you're not going to get this layup kind of thing. But then for LeBron going in, it's like you may have a big man kind of shuffle in, but I mean, yeah, he's 6'8" and can bowl you over at 40 years old, but like I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different sport now, compared to the Jordan days.
But then when you look at MLS over that same period, because 97, I think you said MLS got started, Jordan was at his height, like near the end, but at his height at that point. And then like MLS got its start, and over that same period of time, I mean, the game of football hasn't, or the game of soccer hasn't changed. Like, it's very much a, here's the rules, you're either going to adhere to it or you're not, kind of thing. And I think it's a sport that has a ton of potential over here in the western half of the world. If they can find a way to mesh it all together, have a bunch of friendlies, take Inter Miami and have them play like Everton or something.
Yeah, if they did kind of an exhibition series, and they did this with like Liverpool, Man City, a few other teams came to the United States, and like they sold out football stadiums, not even soccer stadiums, which are typically about a third of the size compared to NFL stadiums. And like if the US, whether it be the MLS or, you know, the USL, if they paid these teams to come play and just do a series, that could be huge.
Yeah.
Like that could be something cool because, you know, and even this the CONCACAF Champions Cup that's playing, you know, people want to see the stars. They want to see the best in the business do it. And if all of them are over in Europe, you know, you have to find a way to mix them in or find a way to snatch their talent.
Well, and I think that was kind of part of the plan with Apple getting paying Messi is like, hey, we want this league. We just spent a ton of money on taking on the broadcasting rights. So we're going to give you a ton of money, Messi, to just have your name on the league for a while.
Basically a brand ambassador.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think that like eventually we could see like MLS is like, here, have all of our teams. We're going to be a governing football body on the Western Hemisphere. And you can have your league and the teams and everything, but we're going to kind of keep you to the rules.
How do you mean?
Like FIFA. FIFA's independent, but they have their governing body that kind of oversees everything.
Yeah. I could see them instituting kind of a centralized, you know, not like, kind of like a board of directors, right? Like they could, you know, each league can function independently or, you know, they could be brought together over time. But, you know, what does that look like what does that look like for an organization at the highest level in the United States? I would say right now it's probably MLS execs and, you know, USL execs, which, you know, I'm assuming the MLS has maybe more of the talent from an administrative perspective, but, you know, I don't know, that would be a good idea, you know.
I personally want to see, like, I don't know, maybe deeper leagues, like 6 tiers or something, but it's regional based. Because, like, yeah, you may have, like, a New York and Chicago rivalry just because the cities rival each other. Chicagoans are like, hey, we're a cleaner New York, and New York is like, hey, there's nobody like us. So you have that kind of rivalry there, but like, I don't know, I feel like a Boston and New York rivalry is pretty natural. Like a Cincinnati Columbus is natural. Like, I feel like some of these leagues really should be their own league, kind of like how Europe has it. Netherlands has their own league, and France has their own league, and, you know, so have it be regional based just because there's so much out there. And then you can get, like, small towns, just like rec leagues, and then, like, 30-year-olds who just happen to get good at soccer at one point can have a rec league end up in, like, a top tier in the area, you know?
Yeah.
And then that makes it more fun when, like, CONCACAF happens, because then that's when you can see the Atlantas play the Salt Lakes and stuff like that. Like, I think that would be pretty cool because, like, proximity is the natural rivalry.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it just breeds the most familiarity.
Yeah. Like, here in Cincinnati, we're broken up by neighborhoods, and you'll go from one neighborhood and they'll be like, hey, I hate those guys. Then you go to the next neighborhood and they're like, I hate those guys. So then, like, if you say you like the other town, then they're like, well, we're going to stone you to death. Like, maybe not to that extreme.
Matt
like,
suggested we live in a Mad Max post-apocalyptic. It can be. Yeah. It can be.
But I think to me that would be the fix for soccer here in the United States is every other league doesn't care so much about like proximity anymore. Make a league that cares about it and show people why. You know?
We were talking a little bit about, Messi, and probably one of the bigger games, FC Cincinnati against Atlanta was one of the bigger ones, I'd say. Atlanta has a lot of expectations behind them. They got, their old coach back that they were winning with. He went to Miami for a spell. He was actually the head coach, he was the soccer coach for, I believe, Argentina, and there was another one. So, like, he has the chops, so I think they're a team to watch. But, probably the other match that everyone was focused on was LAFC against Miami. Miami went to LAFC. I was kind of expecting Miami to win. They made a lot of moves this offseason. They worked on their back line and, got kind of patched the hole that was their, defense. And that, to me, was, that's going to result in more wins for them, just by the numbers. But, LAFC, they kind of put them down mercilessly. It was 3-0.
Yeah. It helped that Messi had like a hammy issue.
Yep. I mean, there's talks about whether he was fixing to even play that first game, so it's hard to it's hard to sit Messi, in any situation. But yeah, I mean, LAFC is pretty fun to watch. They're a fun team to watch. Bouanga's went off. I think he scored 2 goals. Sonny was involved in a couple of the assists. Like, that's what people want to see. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to bring them to soccer.
Well, I was watching St. Louis and Charlotte earlier in the day, and they're not really teams that you think of when you think of MLS. They're not the worst, but, I mean, when you watch it, you could see, like, a little bit of a talent disparity when, like, compared to the later games in the day. There was a couple of times where it's like, wow, you let that guy get that ball from you like that? Like that tackle happened? Or, wow, that was the worst pass I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure at 33 I can make that pass a little bit better. And it wasn't like anybody was on him. It was like there's nobody around him, and he was just kicking the ball forward and kicked it straight to like another defender.
You'll get that a little bit in the MLS.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a little brutal to watch. But then, like, later in the game, the goals started happening a little bit, and then you're like, okay. Like, now I see the talent. I mean, one of the problems, though, with all of soccer, and I think it's a major complaint, is it kind of echoes in the NBA now, too, is like, you get touched and you go down. And it's like, I get it to a certain extent, but then you watch that FC game, and it's like Atlanta was actually running through FC Cincinnati players, sliding through FC Cincinnati players. It wasn't like I kind of elbowed him in the hip, and then he crumbled like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, grabbing his head.
Yeah.
Like he'd been shot. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the bigger complaints of the sport.
Yeah.
And then when you see women play, and it's like, okay, fundamentals are there, but you don't get the flopping or anything like that. And it's like women's sports don't get talked about enough. But it's one of those things where, like, that's something that you would expect from some of the not as talented women in the sport.
Yeah.
not some of the top players in MLS.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of when I've taken, people who've never seen a game, they're like, oh, they flop around and carry on. And they do. But, if it's egregious, a lot of times it's called.
Yeah.
A lot of times it isn't, because, they want to look out for the safety of the player. But, speaking of injuries, so Nick Haglund, he's a defender on our team, hometown hero. He went to Lakota West. That's where I went. You were across town at Lakota East, slightly worse than West, but that's a tale for a different time. So, last year, he and another play when they were playing Atlanta, they both went up for the ball, and I forget his name, number 9 with Atlanta. He'd hit him so hard that his rib broke and punctured his lung.
Sheesh.
So I don't know if you heard that. Whenever 9 touched the ball, TQL made sure to boo him, TQL doesn't forget. The Bailey sure as shit don't forget, And that's what's cool about the sport. But, even to add the cherry on top, defenders don't usually score goals. He's tall, but I wouldn't say he's exceptionally tall,
He's not the one that is going to win on a header every time.
Yeah, but damn if he
motivated.
didn't put a header in.
He was
and I
motivated.
love it. Yeah, you love to see it. You love to see it.
Yeah, the crowd went crazy when that happened. More so than the other goal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think a lot of it was just because it was so unexpected. And, because we've never, for whatever reason, we're just not very good at set pieces. Like Lucho, when we had him, he would try to go for Olympicos, which is when, you shoot for the net.
Go for the jugular.
Yeah. But otherwise, they haven't really been strong in that scenario. So we have a new guy that took a corner kick that actually gave Haglund that service, and he was able to get it in. So maybe he takes corners from here on out. But if we add that element, dude, the league is ours for the taking, I think. Because we have a super, super solid defense. Matt Miazga's one of our stronger players. He's the real captain back there, but he's had so many injuries.
Was he the one that got the red card in the playoff? Yeah.
Yep. I saw a story. Messi supposedly followed the refs into their locker room, which is no different than what Matt did, except Matt had a pizza box because he's eating pizza, just voicing his concerns after the match, which, to be fair, it's probably not, it's not the best look by any means, but, he wasn't aggressive. Yeah, and they ended up suspending his ass for it. So people were like kind of watching like, okay, how's Messi gonna, is he gonna get some special treatment here, or is it gonna be, the same? Turns out maybe it was a little special treatment. I don't know. Maybe he didn't break the rules. I don't know.
But it's stuff like that you're not going to really find too much in other sports. Like in basketball, you may have a player going up to the other locker room. But I think basketball and soccer have a lot of similarities when it comes to like how players interact with each other. A lot of them grow up with each other through camps and stuff. But it's those kind of storylines that keep the sport alive. Like, now all of Cincinnati hates Miami and top officials of MLS because that happened, and coming for vengeance is here.
Yeah. Yeah. I've certainly had my qualms with the Pro Referees Association quality. It's so inconsistent. And, I think we've talked about it before. Like, you can call all the plays you want, but you have to do it justly. Like, you have to do it in equal amounts for either team. You can't show favoritism. And I think, soccer, for whatever reason, does have an ugly history of, kind of corruption and some of that. So, I mean, it's your mind goes to it pretty quick. Yeah. Pretty quick.
Soccer's one of those where you don't expect plays. You just expect positioning. Really? So when people are like, they run plays, it's like, yeah, they run plays. Like, it may not be like hey, run a post route and you run a corner, But, I mean, like, yeah, they use their positioning to run those plays. It's the same, like, we sat you down and watched NASCAR. Forced you to watch NASCAR for a while. And it's like there were things we had to explain because the normal viewer isn't going to understand how side drafting pushes the air on the spoiler of a car and produces a bunch of drag on the back of the car, giving that person the advantage to move past. So it's just stuff like that like the casual fan is going to miss.
Yeah. Absolutely. One of the other games. So this was interesting, and I didn't really. I noticed it when it happened, but Philadelphia Union 2 years in a row in the off season sends their best striker to other teams, and so this year they sent Ty Baribo to DC United. He was getting pretty close to the Golden Boot race last year. So he was producing, like they moved on from Gazdag. He went to Columbus. He didn't really do very well in Columbus. But, they have this weird record of like moving on when you expect them to keep the player. But, Ty Baribo made him pay for it. DC United beat Philly 1-0. He got his revenge goal. I think it was an upset for sure. I don't know, man. That's what you watch for. You watch for the storylines.
This wasn't MLS, but did you see in England, I think it was, or Ireland, some player on loan hit a game-winning goal against the team that
he was loaned out from?
Yeah. And so every player on that team was chasing him around the field, trying to kill him. Because it was like, I think there was like actual stakes in the game. Like it was like relegation or like if that team won, they were moving up or something like that. And he just like screwed them.
It's what a unique situation to be in as a player, Like, I don't know what position he played, but like
striker, I think.
Okay, so yeah, there was a reasonable chance that he could contribute to a goal. But man, that's the beauty of the sport, dude.
Yeah.
That's what we need here. We need shit. We need stakes. Stakes make everything better.
Yeah.
Ribeye,
with a little bit of A1 sauce.
Porterhouse.
Yeah, I got to watch MLS for free this past weekend. Didn't know how any of that worked. I logged in and it just let me watch. So I was like, cool. I didn't do any activation or anything. So it must have been one of those free weekends. You and I were talking off air, and it sounds like they may have been like, hey, MLS is back. We have it. Here's a little taste of what you can expect if you get this package. I think that's pretty cool. They're willing to eat some money in order to let people watch for free. You're not going to hear that from any other league.
They do that a couple times a year that I've noticed. Like in the middle of the summer, they'll do like MLS weekend, where you can watch it for free. And I think that's great. That was one of our big complaints is, when they moved from regular TV to Apple TV, like there was a paywall and, paywalls prevent people from watching it and staying in touch. So, yeah.
Well, how MLS and Apple did it, I think, is pretty genius considering how far down from the top they are in leagues. Like, from their standpoint, like it gets rid of a lot of the illegal streaming.
Yeah.
From the fan standpoint, you only have to pay one place. NFL, you have to pay multiple apps now.
Yeah.
Most people have Prime at this point, but so they're really the only ones outside of linear TV that I'll support. But you'll have like playoff games on Netflix or Peacock, and it's like, yeah, I have those, but I'm not going to show my support for doing this. And like MLB occasionally will have some games on Peacock or whatever. But I don't know if they do like a blackout thing for that. They're known for a lot of blackouts. But like at least with MLS, you're able to watch any team anywhere, anytime. So I'm not a big Apple fan, but I think they did a good job.
Yeah, and they put on a good show, when you're watching. They're what
no
they
commercials, that's the best part.
Yeah. They have a whip around show, which is like
yeah.
similar to like NFL Red Zone, where like they just show you the scoring play. I'll tell you what, you'll have a damn blast just sitting there like, you're watching this one team, they score, and then they're like, oh, we got to go over here, and they just like completely abandon the the group they were watching, and it's so funny. It's even Steph was getting into it. She's like, this is actually the best way to watch soccer because you catch like the build up and then them scoring a goal, which I mean that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you're really only about action,
action,
pay the money and watch MLB Whipper or MLS Whipper.
Dude, we should bury in our videos like giveaways. Like, dude, I'll buy someone's Apple TV.
Yeah.
Like I'll cash up.
I don't have enough disposable income for that. I mean, we can.
They have to find it first.
It's like
there's
there's a professor for some graduate school somewhere that put in the syllabus that if you handed in at the end of the semester the syllabus, that he would give you a free A just to see who read it. Nobody brought the syllabus back in.
I mean,
after that story, I read every syllabus. I tell everyone to read it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dead ass. I'm serious.
We do have a comment from Blazer Bobcat, watching and listening from Albany, Georgia. Shout out. Will you cover minor league baseball this season? It's not on the top of our list. There's going to be dead times where we'll definitely look for other content. And, I mean, no better place to look than minor league baseball, because when you think of minor league baseball, you just think of a crappier version of MLB, and that is completely wrong. Every team, every stadium has their own identity, and it's electric. If you have any level of minor league baseball near you, definitely go check it out. But to answer your question, we may get into it. It's not high on our priority list, but definitely may touch on it.
We're here for the little guys, so they have as good a chance as any, as getting coverage.
But I don't know, relegation in baseball would be so funny. You have the New York Yankees have a bad streak, and all of a sudden they're in single A.
Yeah,
that would be so funny. With all their numbers retired, because they just retired another one. We didn't actually plan on talking about baseball today, but
yeah.
But yeah. So we'll definitely look for other opportunities to talk about various sports, maybe even NASCAR. Some interesting things happening in that sport. We helped a guy win $150 by complete accident. I won $150 on purpose, but we do that bet every year. Haven't won until this year. But yeah. MLS, what's going on right now, Tone? Anything happen tonight?
The CONCACAF Champions Cup's running. FC Cincinnati's hosting Universidad O&M. It is a university in one of the South American
cities.
I think it's in the Dominican Republic, but I could be wrong.
I think that you're right. I think I heard that.
The score is 7-0 in the 76th minute. So
with backups. The backups were in to start. So
they just subbed out their goalie, which I've never seen.
Yeah, you usually don't have your third string goalie active on your bench to be subbed in.
No. Yeah, everyone's getting a piece of the pie tonight, and that's cool. I mean,
good for confidence.
I heard. So, the CONCACAF Champions Cup is like all of the best programs in, the Americas, right? So they do a ranking. FC Cincinnati ranked 12th overall of all of those teams. The team that they're playing ranked 126th. So we're talking about a real power disparity that might have been given away because one is a university and one is a professional soccer organization that's spent, some coin to get where they are.
But I mean, like 30, 40 years ago, that would have been like Ohio State playing Arsenal.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
I mean, and if that happened, I don't know. That's maybe a long-standing debate in sports, like would an OSU in their prime be able to beat a bad professional football team? And I don't know. I guess it depends on the scenario, but for me, I'm thinking the bigger, faster, stronger, even if they're not the best, they're still going to beat some college kids.
Yeah. Like when we talk about pretty much any of these Ohio State football teams trying to play the Cleveland Browns or the Tennessee Titans or Miami Dolphins, there's still a talent gap. Like, yeah, you might have a few guys that can keep up with some guys that have been in the NFL for a while, like Jeremiah Smith, probably going to wreck some dude in his early 30s. But for the most part, you're like the vast majority of the team isn't going to go to the NFL. Like, even if they try to go to the NFL, they're not going to the NFL. They're going to the CFL. So, like, yeah, they do pump a lot of players into the NFL, but like, they're not going to beat a Cleveland. And if they were to have it close, Cleveland would just sit on the ball the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. They just play keep away, break off one run, just keep the score far enough that, they close it out. May not be pretty, but yeah.
Look at us. We're talking about all the sports on a show that we have to talk about soccer.
Yeah. Yeah. Which isn't a reflection on soccer. It's just more to us getting sidetracked.
Yeah. We have ADHD and we get sidetracked very easily.
And it takes us a minute to catch on to it. We just follow the path.
Yeah. Like I had a fridge delivered today, and I got on a whole tangent about the Toyota Tacoma versus the Nissan Frontier. While they were working, dude stopped and everything, and we were just having a conversation about it. And I was like, oh, I should probably get back to work.
Hey, I mean, I feel like I've made a lot of friends that way. One of the dudes that I played Magic with, he was my plumber, and we just hit it off, and I was like, hey, dude.
You play Magic? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You look like a Magic guy.
Steph and I were talking about that, There is a distinct look, but it's so offensive to call that out.
Yeah.
Like, you look like you'd be into card games, you nerd.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have thought about it, but again, the disposable income aspect of it. Everyone tells me it's a financial burden or commitment, depending on how you look at it. I'd rather just play D&D.
Yeah.
Get a Discord going.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a lot of mental work though. I think that prohibits some people from wanting to play.
Yeah. So we have gotten really far from soccer now.
Oh yeah. We're not even in sports realm anymore.
Do you have any last minute? Anything we didn't check off? Any boxes we didn't?
No. It's week 1, so there's a lot of season left.
Yeah.
There isn't really anyone that I'm seeing that's coming out that could be just a mainstay for the season. Inter Miami was that last year. If I had to pick two, it would be LAFC and Inter Miami, but they also have the talent, and maybe I'm buying into the hype, but I think the East is going to be stronger than the West, and we'll kind of see where the season goes, but we'll definitely bring updates and league news and keep spreading the good word.
Through
boots on the ground.
Through one game, do you have a new winner? I guess maybe 2 games. Maybe 2. For some.
Yeah, I don't know that we've seen enough yet, and so much changes, right? Because the transfer window closes in March, and then it opens again in the summer. So you could have a team get a facelift mid-year and they crush it, So it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm biased here, and I won't even, hide from it. I think FC Cincinnati has a very good shot of winning the Supporters' Shield. I think we're built to last. It's nothing flashy, but there's enough talent that it gets the job done. And I feel like we kept a lot of people that we had last year and kind of plugged some holes that we needed to. So I think the odds have them in 4th. The first is Inter Miami, then Vancouver, then I think LAFC, and then FC Cincinnati. So those are kind of the top 4 to win, have the most points at the end of the season. But I don't know. It's going to be a good ride. Matt will be joining me at a couple games as well.
Yep. Got my tickets for really late in the year.
Yep. In November, which is
yeah, I'm already planning for November, baby.
Yep. So we'll
try to get the crew tickets, but don't blame the seller on that one.
Yeah. If you're gonna make some money, that's one of the ones to do it.
Hose a Columbus fan. That's how you can make some money.
Mm-hmm.
With their massive data centers and their fancy cars and capital ideas. Yeah, I mean, I got my eyes on Vancouver. I think they have a legitimate shot this year. I think ultimately when we look at Miami, it really depends on Messi being healthy. They're going to win games without him, but they're going to lose more without him than...
Yeah.
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 They're going to lose more games. Yeah, I'm not going to try that again.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're laying down. If you remove Messi from the equation, their team looks kind of mid. I mean, they do have other talent, but it's kind of middling. It's not gonna.
A 40-year-old Messi is still the best player in the MLS.
Oh yeah, I mean in the world.
Yeah,
some say, but definitely in the MLS.
But Vancouver, definitely have eyes on them. Can't really rule out Columbus, as annoying as that is.
They have a new coach this year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll trip and fall into a pile of shit. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a handful of teams that are just always up there.
Yep.
That you can throw in there. So it'll be interesting to watch. Definitely check it out. I don't know if they're going to do another free thing this weekend, but if you're not into NASCAR and you don't really want to watch college basketball, then yeah. Speaking of college basketball, to kind of start wrapping this up a little bit, we are going to be boots on the ground at NKU again. The whole staff gets to go this time, and super excited. I got to go to the Dayton football game. Haven't been to a basketball game yet. Have to do some reading up. But it looked like a blast last time. A little jealous. Kind of mad that I chose to go to school.
School's for fools.
Yeah, back to school.
That's exactly where I was going with it.
But yeah, I mean NKU basketball.
It was exciting. That was the first college basketball game I've ever been to in my almost 35 years.
You never went to Miami games?
Nope, not basketball. I went to a hockey game. That was their hockey programs. It's not what it used to be, but it's still exciting.
Same with Bowling Green. Bowling Green
were they good at hockey?
4 of the 1980 Miracle team players were on Bowling Green.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So, needless to say, they have a rivalry with Alaska.
Do they?
Yeah. I guess so few schools have hockey that, like, just going to play kind of the same teams.
Yeah.
And they've been playing, like, I think it was, like, Alaska Anchorage or something, and that they have, like, the rivalry with. They've just been playing forever, so, yeah.
Score check.
Basketball. Go ahead.
It's 9-0.
Yeah, oh.
That is, it's mean. This is definitely the highest scoring soccer game I've ever seen.
I don't know. There was the first FIFA game.
Shut up, Matt.
I beat him like 11-0 on FIFA.
No, dude, you didn't get above 8. I think it was like 7 to maybe 1, but I don't even think
track.
I scored.
I had so much fun, I lost track.
I did not have fun, but I also lost track. I dissociated.
Yeah. So college basketball kind of winding down. Gonna get a lot of material from Justin. Out with an illness right now. I think he's faking it just to get out of. Seems like a Justin thing to do. No, love you, buddy. Hopefully you're watching. What else? What else do we have going on? We have shows planned out through the draft. So super exciting stuff. Draft special, April 23rd, 7 p.m.
Mark it.
No, we're going to go on later. I don't want to do that again. We went on like 30 minutes before the draft, and it took forever. It was like 40 minutes of just nothingness before they actually got a pick in. So we're just going to start right before the draft.
Yeah. That sounds good.
But, yeah, we have our mock draft in there, 2 mock drafts in there. Before then, we have probably another 1 or 2 MLS episodes. Justin, I guess, may do a college baseball one. Kind of don't have a whole lot on the college football front except for UC. University of Cincinnati is suing former quarterback Brendan Sorsby for leaving, seeking $1 million. See how that goes. I guess that's just the landscape of college football.
I mean, it's because there is no governing body or rules in place. You know, like, that's how this sketch shit can happen where, you know, and I don't know what his contract was, but, I mean, if he took the money and was supposed to stay more than 1 year, he didn't do that. So, you know, there should be a payback. There should be clawback language in there. But, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting time.
I did talk to his internal replacement candidate, and I got him confused with one of the running backs. Probably never going to be able to talk to him ever again, but still a lot of praise going on. They got a new offense coordinator who's supposed to be doing play calling, so that'll be pretty dope. Lot of fun things going on in Cincinnati. Still trying for the Cincinnati Chili Bowl. Still don't have sponsorship for that. Or us. Working on it. We're in the midst of a very long Midwestern goodbye here, so we're just going to wrap it up.
Let's land this plane, dude.
Follow us at Updog Sports Talk on everything. We are now more consistently getting everything out to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everything. So check us out there. And then just check for updates on X, and we'll catch you next week. See you guys.